Hello, hello, and hello. Welcome to the final episode of Nothing Zilch Nada. I know Jake and I had half a month to try to get everything back on track, but unfortunately, the argument was too great, and we have officially no longer become friends. But we felt that it would be rude just to leave our fans at that one episode. So for this episode, we decided we will still go, still do what was initially planned, and just end it right there. Ironically, this ended on April Fool's Day. This wasn't planned, nothing like that. No, what was planned was a try not to laugh challenge where Jake and I go through, talk about, or not talk about, but tell jokes to each other to try not to laugh. Although, with recent circumstances, this may end up becoming a try to laugh challenge.
hmm
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, Jake, how are you feeling about your jokes?
Well, I'm about to bring you a kicker, I guess.
Mm-hmm. One last one before we sign off for the last time.
hmm
Yep. If you notice, we did decide to wear concert black. Not necessarily because we're going to concerts, more just because this is proper funeral attire.
hmm
All right, but with that, let's get started with our jokes. Jake, as the co-host, would you like to go first?
Okay. What do you call a pony with a cough?
What do you call a pony with a cough?
A little horse.
Ha 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 ha. All right, ready for my first joke?
hmm
Me.
Ha 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 ha.
Mm.
What did one hat say to the other?
What did one hat say to the other?
You wait here. I'll go on ahead.
That was a good joke. That was a good joke. What is orange and sounds like a parrot?
I don't know.
A carrot.
Okay. What do you call a magic dog?
What do you call a magic dog?
A labracabrador.
Mm. All right. All right. This one's a little dirtier. What's the difference between sand and menstrual blood?
I don't know. What is the difference?
You can't gargle sand.
It's a good joke.
That's an old family joke.
All right. What do you call a woman with one leg?
What do you call a woman with one leg?
Eileen.
Yep. Now I gotta change jokes. Give me a second. Because my next one was an Eileen joke. I'll have to save that for later. What is the difference between a poorly dressed man on a tricycle and a well dressed man on a bicycle?
I don't know.
A tire.
All right. Well, I'm a musician, so I gotta tell some music jokes. Which legendary creature keeps musical time best?
Which one?
A metronome.
Mm, What is 6 inches long, 2 inches wide, and makes everyone go crazy?
A big meaty stick.
No, a $100 bill.
Okay. Why did the drummer complain about his salad?
Why?
It didn't have any beets.
Mm. A pirate walks into a bar, and he's got his steering wheel tied to his junk. When the bartender asks him about it, he says, Yarg, it'd be driving me nuts.
Nice. What happened when C, E flat, and G walked into the bar?
What happened?
The bartender said, "Sorry, we don't serve minors."
You don't need a parachute to go skydiving. You need a parachute to go skydiving twice. I guess my technology liked that joke.
Okay. Um, let's see. Why isn't there a pregnant Barbie doll?
Why isn't there?
And came in another box.
Mm. The funny thing is, there is a Barbie doll that's pregnant. Her name was Midge.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I apologize mean the same thing, except at a funeral.
How did Burger King and Dairy Queen get? Oh, wait. How did Burger King get Dairy Queen pregnant?
How?
He forgot to wrap his waffle.
That was a pretty good one. All right. So I was at a party the other day. They played the Macarena, so I did the Macarena. They did the YMCA, so I did the YMCA. They did the Cupid Shuffle, so I did the Cupid Shuffle. Then they played Come On Eileen. I was escorted out of there. That was a punchline, unless you're looking for a different
Hmm.
one.
My wife was really mad about the neighbor sunbathing nude outside. Personally, I'm on the fence.
Why does the worm, why does the mermaid wear seashells?
I don't know.
She outgrew her beach shells.
Okay. Um, how do you spot a blind person at a nude beach?
How?
It's not hard.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
I eat mop.
I mop poo.
Ew. You eat your own poo? That's kind of gross, man. You really need to talk to someone about that.
Maybe I do. I would have a friend to talk to, but unfortunately, he's not on the best terms right now.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Hmm. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Butcher.
Butcher who?
Put your head on my shoulder.
What if I had a friend to do that with?
Hmm.
A major new study recently found that humans eat more bananas than monkeys. It's true.
Okay.
I can't remember the last time I ate a monkey.
Let's see. Oh, I took my 66 year old father to the mall the other day to buy some new shoes. After shopping, we decided to grab a bite at the food court where I noticed he was watching a teenager sitting next to him. The teenager had spiked hair in all different colors: green, red, orange, and blue. My dad kept staring at her. The teenager kept looking and would find my dad staring every time. When the teenager had had enough, she sarcastically asked, "What's the matter, old man? Never done anything wild in your life?" Knowing my dad, I quickly swallowed my food so that I would not choke on his response. In classic style, he responded without batting an eyelid. Got stoned once and screwed a peacock. I was just wondering if you were my daughter.
That was a good that was a good joke. When does a duck wake up?
He quacks.
At the quack of dawn.
Okay. A cheating husband decided to write a letter to his wife. My dear wife, you will surely understand that I have certain needs that you, as a 54-year-old, can no longer satisfy. I'm very happy with you and I value you as a good wife. However, after reading this letter, I hope you will not wrongly interpret the fact that I will be spending the evening with my 18-year-old secretary at the Comfort Inn. Please don't be upset. I shall be back before midnight. When the man came home late that night, he found a reply to his letter on the dining room table. My dear husband, I received your letter and thank you for your honesty about my being 50 years old. I would like to take this opportunity to remind you that you are also 54 years old. I would like to inform you that while you read this, I will be at the Hotel Fiesta with Michael, one of my students, who is also an assistant tennis coach. He is young, viral, and uh, viral, and like your secretary, he is 18. You, being a successful businessman with an excellent knowledge of math, will understand that we are in the same situation, although with one small difference. 18 goes into 54 a lot more times than 54 goes into 18. See you in a week's time.
That was good. You know you're not liked when you get handed a camera every time they take a group photo.
The best measure of a man's honesty isn't his income tax return, it's the zero just on his bathroom scale.
An odd couple is ready to go to sleep. The man lies on the bed, but the old woman lies down on the floor. The old man asks, "Why are you going to sleep on the floor?" The old woman says, "Because I want to feel something hard for a change." It'd be like that sometimes.
Today, today my boyfriend told me that honesty is a major turn on for him. Big if true.
What are the three shortest words in the English language?
I don't
Is it
know.
in?
What was that?
Is it in?
My wife complains I don't buy her flowers. In all honesty, she didn't know she sold flowers. I didn't know she sold flowers.
Hmm. Jake, you're not completely useless. I can always use you as a bad example.
Ouch.
Hmm.
What's the difference between the velocity of Atlantis and Florida?
What is the difference between the lost city of Atlantis and Florida?
About 3 days. In all honesty, though, my thoughts and good wishes go out to the people of Florida.
Hmm. The bus, or my boss said, I'm preoccupied with vengeance. We'll see about that.
A priest was preaching one Sunday. The sermon that I'm going to preach today is about honesty. Everyone nodded. Before I begin, I would like all those who have read Matthew chapter 29, verse 15 to raise their hands. More than half the people raised their hand. That is very unfortunate to see, as there's only 28 chapters in the book of Matthew. And that is true.
Hmm. Why don't melons get married?
I don't know.
Because they can't elope.
A rabbit says to a fox, I'm writing a dissertation on how rabbits eat foxes. Come on, you know that's impossible. No one will publish such rubbish, says the fox. Well, follow me and I'll show you. They both go into the rabbit's dwelling, and after a while, the rabbit emerges with a satisfied expression on his face. Then comes the wolf. Hello, what are we doing these days? I'm writing the second chapter of my thesis on how rabbits devour wolves. Are you crazy? Where's your academic honesty? Come with me and I'll show you. As before, the rabbit comes out with a satisfied look on his face and a diploma in his paw. Finally, the camera pans into the rabbit's cave, and we see a mean-looking huge lion sitting, picking his teeth and belching next to some furry, bloody remnants of the wolf and the fox. The moral? It's not the contents of your thesis that are important. It's your PhD advisor that really counts.
Yep. Yep, 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 yep. My boss said, dress for the job you want, not for the job you had. So I went in as Batman.
Nice.
Hmm.
A flat earther goes to heaven. A flat earther dies while trying to fly in a homemade rocket and goes to heaven. There he meets up with God and says, "Oh, Supreme Lord, tell me the utmost honesty. Is earth round or flat?" God replies, "It is round, my dear child." The flat earther thinks, "Wow, this whole thing goes much higher than I thought."
What do Keanu Reeves, Ralph Macchio, and Baby Yoda have in common? They age at the same rate. Seriously, Baby Yoda is 50 years old. He's still a baby. And if you look at Keanu Reeves now and Ralph Macchio now, and Keanu Reeves and Ralph Macchio a couple of years ago, and by a couple I mean like a couple decades ago, barely aging has happened.
Return on investment. An investment banker decides she needs in-house counsel, so she interviews a young lawyer. Mr. Peterson, she begins. Would you say you're honest? Honest? Replies the lawyer. Let me tell you something about honesty. My father lent me $85,000 for my education, and I paid back every penny the minute I tried my first case. Impressive, says the baker. And what sort of case was that? My father sued me for the money.
Why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle?
I don't know.
Because his wife has passed away.
An Englishman, a Scotsman, and a Paddy go to Saudi Arabia. They decide to start drinking and somehow get caught, but go to see the Sultan for their punishment. The Sultan says, You're lucky today. I'm feeling nice today, and I will only give you 50 lashes if you could, and you could choose to put anything on your back. The Englishman chooses a pillow, and the pillow takes 6 lashes, and he gets the rest on the back. The Scotsman goes next. He chooses a barrel top. The barrel top takes 25. He takes the rest of the back. Paddy goes last, and being an honest man, he says, Sultan, the drinking was my idea. The Sultan is surprised by his honesty, but says, I appreciate your honesty, but since you started it, you shall get 250 lashes. The Irishman and the Englishman had the Irishman had the Englishman strapped to his back.
That was good. That was good. All right. Patient. Where exactly are you taking me, doctor? The doctor said, to the morgue. The patient says, what? But I'm not dead yet. And that's when the doctor said, and we're not there yet.
I decided to no longer refer to the bathroom as the John. Instead, I will call it the gym. That way, I can say in all honesty that I went to the gym this morning.
They said there's a person capable of murder in every friendship group. I suspect it was Jake, so I killed him before he could cause any harm.
Ouch. A farmer rounded up his 3 sons and said sternly, I want you to know which of you boys pushed the outhouse over, but before I do, I wanted to tell you a story. When George Washington was a boy, he chopped down his father's favorite cherry tree. When his father asked, George admitted his deed, saying, Father, I cannot tell a lie. I chopped down your cherry tree. George Washington's father appreciated his son's honesty and did not punish him. Now I will ask you each one time. The farmer looked at his oldest son and asked, Did you push over the outhouse? The eldest son replied, I did not. I did not do it, Pa. The farmer moved to his middle son and asked, Did you push over the outhouse? The middle son replied, I did not do it, Pa. The farmer asked his youngest son, Did you push over the outhouse? The youngest son replied, I cannot tell a lie. I pushed over the outhouse. The farmer began to throttle the youngest son, and the eldest said, But Pa, you said George Washington was not punished for his honesty. George Washington's father, the farmer grunted, wasn't in the cherry tree when it got chopped down.
That was good. That was good. Okay. 3 men get stranded on an island. On this island, they find a magic lamp with a genie in it. The genie says, because all 3 of you found my lamp, you each get 1 wish. First guy says, I miss my home. I wish I were home. So the genie sends him home. Second guy says, I miss my wife and kids. So I too wish to go home. So he went home. Third guy looked around, looked at the genie, said, It's kind of lonely here. I wish my friends were back. As do I. I wish my friends would be or were back. But unfortunately, that bridge has been burned.
Well, did you hear the Invisible Man and the Invisible Woman just had a son?
I did not.
In all honesty, he's not much to look at.
Even people who are good at doing nothing can bring a smile to your face. For instance, when you push them down the stairs.
Three guys find out that they have 3 weeks to live. They realize that they have nothing to show for in their lives. So they each decide to try getting into the Guinness Book of World Records. The first guys say, I have pretty long arms. Maybe I have the longest arms in the world. The second guy says, I have a big chest. Maybe I have the biggest chest in the world. The third guy says, I have a small Richard. Maybe I have the smallest Richard in the world. So they each submitted their applications to the Guinness Book of World Record headquarters. A week later, the book is published, and they all gathered around to see the results. The first guy opens the book and says, Hey, look, I have the longest arms in the world. The second guy looks and says, Wow, I can't believe I have the biggest chest in the world. And the third guy looks and says, who the heck is Xavier? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. I can't keep reading this.
You okay?
If we're being completely honest, I lost way before this. I think I laughed more at my jokes than I laughed at most of yours.
Ouch. If it makes you feel any better, I've been hurting this entire time, just trying not to laugh.
Oh,
Oh. All right. Well, we'll do one more for me, just because we started with you.
mm,
So the beer bottle and the mirror are talking to each other. The beer bottle says, You break me, you get 1 year bad luck. The mirror says, Are you kidding me? You break me, then you get 7 years of bad luck. The condom was overhearing this and began laughing. Uh,
uh,
Overall, I'd say those were some pretty good jokes that both of us told.
yeah, they just got progressively worse and worse as we were trying to scrounge up. I was purposefully trying to find insert name jokes.
Hmm. Well, I didn't have insert name jokes. They were just names included. I just changed them.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, well, those those were good laughs, but unfortunately, our friendship isn't lasting. So we do have to. I would like to thank my family and everyone else on my end who's been watching the videos. They've been subscribing, making comments. Jake, do you have anyone you need to thank?
I don't think you want to hear what I'm about to say.
Go ahead, say it. Last episode, leave it all out there.
I really think your mom.
That figures. That figures. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're signing off on our last episode of Nothing Zilch Nada. We were your hosts, Xavier Dean,
Jacob Green.
and I guess this kind of proves that what we're trying to promote doesn't work. Healthy conversations always end with failure in some way, shape, or form. We hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, wonderful month, wonderful year, wonderful life, and hope you all be well. Anyone still here?
Hmm.
Well, to those of you who are still here, as we mentioned earlier, it is April Fool's Day. Jake and I are still friends. We've had this joke for half a month. We are not breaking up the band.
And a band that consists of mainly two members.
Yeah, yep. Maybe three in the future, but so far just two. And that's how
Mm,
we like it. So join us next week for another episode. That will be Jake's topic. And I'm sure he's got a nice spicy topic for us.
not as spicy as those jokes that we told today.
I know, I know. There were some really good jokes. There were
That
some.
last joke that I told was an insert name joke.
Yep. I will say there was one joke that I had a conversation with my father about last night,
Mhm.
and I elected not to say it for mine and my father's safety. Maybe in the future I'll say it.
Or you could just tell me after we stop recording.
Oh, I'm definitely telling you after we stop recording. That's what friends are for.
Yeah, that is definitely what friends are for.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure what next week's topic is going to be.
Hmm.
Honestly, for the past couple weeks, because we didn't record this past week because both of us were busy, but I've just been busy a lot
Hmm.
last week and the week before. Um, yeah, and I'm almost done with school.
Hey, get her done, Jake.
Mhm.
Get her done.
I'll get her done.
Hmm. All right. But with that, I'm Xavier Dean.
And I'm Jacob Green.
We are wishing you a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. And for April Fool's Day, find someone to prank. Make sure it's a harmless prank, too. I don't want to see anyone deciding to throw a toaster in someone's bath. That's not a prank. That's a murder. By the way, Jake, don't take a bath this week. Heads up.
We're back.
All right, cool. All right. Wish you all have a wonderful day.